Hello everyone, my name is V and welcome back to another video where today we are doing the collaboration of a century with two of the primary things I enjoy doing on this channel. Which if you have not seen my other videos, you might know that I love domain format, which I will explain in just a moment, and the Super Quantum archetype. This card is Super Quantum Fairy Alfan, and this card is going to be our deck master for domain format today, which is, if you don't know, a singleton 60 card format where the type, attribute, and archetype of your deck master, which can be summoned repeatedly, is the monsters you are allowed to use. It's a whole lot of fun. I highly recommend checking it out in the domain format server, which is found in the Format Friends server repository, link in the description. But with that out of the way, we are going to be checking out this deck. Now you may be wondering a couple of things. One, there's a lot of odd card choices in it for a traditional Super Quant deck. Well, that's because of two reasons. One, this is a deck I'm actually building in real life, so I took a little bit of spared expense to try and construct this deck for myself, but I hope to actually be able to play this in paper with people, which is a whole lot of fun, and it's an actual way you can do it with remote domain duels. The other reason is because this isn't just a Super Quant deck. This is also a deck focused on bringing out number 76 Harmonizer Gradiel. This is one of my personal favorite cards, and Super Quantum Fairy Alfan, being a light fairy monster, has the freedom of playing number 76, which is a whole lot of fun for me specifically. But you can see we have a few Xyz cards in here, like Generation Force, Xyz Unbreakable Barrier, just to fit with some of the theming. But without further ado, we can cover the premier archetype, the Super Quants, first. You can see we have every single Super Quant card. We have Magnus, all of the mechs, we even have the Link monster, which is traditionally a fairly bad card. However, due to a couple of reasons, one of them being Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, we actually have a reasonable payoff for summoning it, as well as getting a couple of free draws. It's a great way of incorporating the Link monsters into our Super Quant strategy, as the new support from 2025 has made it a whole lot easier to do things. For the sake of brevity, however, I'm not going to go through every single card in this list, that's just fairly boring. However, I highly recommend you look up Super Quant online and check out my fellow creator Plus Infinite if you are curious about how to play this deck to its fullest. We move on then to the Mech Knights. Now, Mech Knights have a couple of level 7s, that's what makes this fairly convenient, and a level 5, which line up with two of the Super Quant mechs. However, there's another reason we're playing them, and it's because they are just fat. They are big bodies that are free to summon and can be spit out onto a field. You can use them for all of our different strategies, including summoning Gradiel, and they're just nice to have. They have small effects. Particularly Purple Nightfall is a great card to have because you're able to protect it by banishing it for an entire round, because Domain has 4 players. It does mean you don't search that often, but that's fine, because you're just trying to slowly construct some advantage. From there, we have a particular card that I am very fond of, Generation Next. Now, we are not playing any heroes, but we are playing one Kuriboh monster, Astral Kuriboh, the Light Fiend Astral version of Kuriboh from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal anime, but not actually, because this is just an astralized Rainbow Kuriboh as a support card. But you can reveal a number in your extra deck, special summon this card, and its level becomes the rank, and then it gives crazy protection to a number Xyz monster that is summoned with it. It's a great card to pair with any number monster, including Harmonizer Gradiel. Now, I did mention this is somewhat of a budget deck. It's a little bit there, and that is very much seen in the fact that we are playing Generation Next and not Fiendsmith's Tract, because this is in fact a Light Fiend. And that is because Fiendsmith's Tract is like 15 bucks and I really didn't feel like buying it. Although my personal gripes with Yu-Gi-Oh! Card prices aside, I'm actually very happy to be playing this card because it is great for just quickly searching things. Especially if we commit our deck master more than once, you have to pay a small fee. And that small fee can allow you to then activate Generation Next very early in the duel, which is very convenient. We also have a couple of life point gain cards that don't synergize terribly well with this, but as long as we play it well, it should be fine. As well as the fact that it's just a 60 card deck, so we may not even see this card in any amount of given duels. From there, we just have a lot of good stuff. As I mentioned, life point gain cards, we have Monster Negates. This is one of my personal favorite Monster Negates because it allows you to steal monsters off of it. We have RGB Rainbow Lucian, which is very funny when it pairs with the Super Quants or Harmonizer Gradiel, because Harmonizer Gradiel gains protection based off of the attributes that it has. So by combining it with something like RGB Rainbowlution, you effectively protect it from all non-divine monster effects, especially because this sticks after RGB Rainbowlution leaves the field. Alternatively, you can actually target a Super Quant with RGB Rainbowlution, and the wording on the field spell Super Quantal Mech Ship Magna Carrier allows you to discard a card and target it, and then summon a Mech Beast Xyz monster, that's one of the Zords if you know Power Rangers, with the same attribute. But that means that you can turn any layer into any mech, using RGB Rainbowlution in between to get that layer to have all the attributes. It's a really interesting concept for a card that is not all in honesty that good, but we make do with it anyways because it's really stinking fun. Beyond that, we've got the Xyz cards, we've got some generic extenders, that's most of the rest of the deck. We have things like Elemental Hero Spirit of Neos, which is a protection card that can also be searched off of Generation Next, funny enough. We can special summon it if an opponent declares an attack, and it can't be destroyed by battle. It's also level 7, which is really nice for us to be able to use it for either Lustrax or Harmonizer Gradiel. We have cards like Protecting Spirit Logath, which is a very easy way because we can activate a Fairy Monster's effect with our Deckmaster, and then we can special summon Logath from our hand. She has a bunch of great effects on her own as well, I just want to say, but she's also a free level 7, which is very, very nice to have. Epigonin is a very funny level 7. You can just pop a monster, get a token with the same type and attribute, and then you also just have a level 7, which is really interesting. Disablaster, Mahama the Fairy Dragon. This card can just steal games. When either player takes battle damage, you can special summon this card and then inflict more battle damage. For the extra deck, we also have some fairly simple options. We have the Mech Knight links that are important. We are not playing Spectrum Supreme because this deck actually has a very limited amount of extra deck space, and it is not easy to find space for that because we are playing a small engine of Slacker Magician, Sylvan Princess Sprite, F-Zero Utopic Future, and F-Zero Utopic Draco Future. And the reason for that is because Super Quants can actually spit out bodies pretty quickly, and Alphan's first effect can target itself to make all other monsters you control become level 1 alongside it. So if you can get 4 level 1s on the field, you can overlay for Slacker Magician, which alternatively can be used as an easy way to get into Zeus, so it's not completely dead if you're not able to make Utopic Future, and Sylvan Princess Sprite,